me like 10 minutes. I'm gonna react to the Kanye video, and then I'm gonna play the Pop Smoke hip hop homicide shit. I don't know if y'all seen it yet, and then I'm gonna get back in Discord. Right? Just let me play. I'm gonna mute up. All right, chat. Yeah, I didn't finish playing that Kanye video. Here we go. Y'all ready? This is Kanye talking about. I don't know what the fuck you talking about. Look at him.
And funny thing about woke culture is like woke culture is not really woke like that. A lot of times people they would rather just exist inside of the pain of a lie than deal with the harsh realities of the truth. For us to look further, look at like JFK. How many documentaries there are on what happened there? Like as a people, we are a sophisticated people that have to look in and be willing to challenge things, not just take what the media has fed us. The interview we had was amazing, and the exact people who sent people in the streets for Black Lives Matter were able to derail the interview and a lot of the ideas just based off the main comment. I'm sorry, I'm distracted by these people honking over here. So with Nori is my brother. He's under a lot of pressure. If you look at the first thing it says, Nori does an interview with Rosenberg. But what's the exact thing I was saying? I said the Jewish media controls so many things. It's not all the Jewish people, but there's specifically Jewish people in media that are in power that try to have, they bought the black voice, but they haven't been able to buy my voice. So instead they blackball me, they threaten people to not interview me, they threaten people to get away from me, they close down my stadiums. Love you too, family, love you too. Yeah. You said thinking, right? Appreciate you. Yeah, they've done all this stuff for years, messing with me, just like poking at me, like calling me out my name. My name is Ye. Anytime they say Kanye West, I change my name. It's like Cassius Clay to Ali. You respect me as a man, as an American, that my name is Ye, that I have the right to choose what my name is. So when media does that, it's already disrespect. I love rappers. Rappers are artists. But when media calls me a rapper, it's specifically to not bring up the fact that I'm worth $11 billion, that I'm the richest black man of all time, that I'm a billionaire, that I'm a tycoon, that I'm a visionary. And if I say that, if I say those three things, then they'll say I'm a narcissist, right? But they push you down so much that you got to fight just to say who you are. You know, what I got from the documentary, from the Candace Owens documentary, was I felt like it was a setup. I felt that in the documentary, if you look at it, he told his roommates they want a tall guy like me. They want a tall guy like me. Well, who is they? I'm gonna pose it as a question, as opposed to, you know, giving you some kind of theory that I can't pinpoint. And this idea, these martyrs that we have, it's 14 kids that's dying in Chicago every single day, and they have this Jewish media, black media, trauma culture, trauma economy, the stuff that Charlemagne the God works for, the stuff that Rosenberg works for, the stuff that academics, the guys at academics. You got to understand, all these people that y'all listening to out here, I'm going to tell y'all, they getting their checks cut.
This is so confusing what Kanye is talking about. So let's try to make some sense of it. And this is when I realized, I'm like, well, number one, I think it's a few things. Kanye might not know me that well. Might also not know my platform that well. When he says the guys that people work for, and I know some of y'all will be like, well, Ak, you have a deal with Spotify. I barely do news reporting or media stuff on Spotify. I'm just interviewing rappers. Like, the platform where I do news reporting on, right? Primarily Instagram and YouTube, right? There is no other agenda. I cover what I want. My opinion is not bought. I can say whatever I want. I've detailed my plight to get to where I'm at. And one of the reasons why, you know, I was empathizing a lot with Kanye before was that I understand getting to that point and people trying to make you fit in, because they do it to me now. They say, I got here by being edgy. Now they want me to, like, I had this conversation with my brother. I got here by being edgy and saying what a fan would say. Now they're saying, yo, why are you saying what a fan would say? And I'm like, wait, because I've made it, I should just now conform with what the people who made it do. So I was a little bit confused when he said my name. And I know y'all think Ye's is all this genius, whatever. But I just can't understand it. Like, who does he think is controlling me? I thought about this very hard. Let's think about it. How does Akademiks get his money? Of course, I work with record labels. That's definitely a thing. I work with record labels to promote music. I consult. People want my opinion. People want me. They got to pay for it. That's just how it is. Just like how people want your music, people pay for it. That's not no agenda. That's how you work. That's how I work. It's cool. So when he talks about like there's some sort of controlled, when you say controlled media, when he first said Rosenberg works for MS Communication. I don't know if that's a Jewish controlled company. That's a huge media company. Charlemagne works for The Breakfast Club, which is on iHeartMedia. I don't even know, and we could probably Google these people, but again, this is where Kanye, I believe, feels he's too full of himself. The people who owns these companies ain't trying to suppress Kanye's voice. Okay? Now, they could be offended by stuff that Kanye says. Now, I'm not here to defend Charlemagne and definitely not Rosendweeb, okay? I'm here to talk about me. Kanye is either off the rocker or maybe either ill-informed or just believes that anyone who doesn't see things his way, and trust me, I've been one of those people who's seen things Kanye's way a lot. I've been sitting here while he went on incoherent rants before he got hospitalized years ago. Remember I told you the whole thing where he was talking about Jay-Z got ninjas ready to kill me? And I said, yo, there's some truth in what he's saying. I always said Kanye always, like, no matter what he says, he be having some truth in it. But here's the thing. A lot of what he says at these times when he's unhinged, you could tell he's blurring the line between reality and also what he's speculating on. What I believe is that Kanye is speculating that either my company, right, is owned by someone else that's bigger. Which, by the way, here's another thing. You know, without giving out names, bro, I've had people come at me and say, hey, Ak, we want to buy into the Akademiks brand. We could give you this amount of millions that you could just be in your pocket and could help you out if you need the cash on hand and we want to be a part of it. We would own this small portion of your business. And you know what I've said? No, I'm making a lot of money now. I think it's a lot. Maybe not a lot to everybody else, but it's a lot to me. I'm good. I've done a lot to stay independent with my voice. WorldStar is no longer owned by even the family of Q. All of these other entities, with the exception of what I know to be me, Vlad, No Jumper, I don't want to name specific names who have either sold portions of their company. I know my shit is completely owned by myself. I believe same thing with Vlad. And by the way, me and Vlad have talked about, you know, he talked about this publicly, where people wanted to give him money, not necessarily for ownership, but it was for like, they wanted to buy pieces of his content or like a publishing situation, and he turned it down. You know what I mean? Again, I know, and I'm very proud that I'm an independent media creator, and I'm an independent media thinker as well. The reason why I keep going viral these days is because people now have, and by the way, I'm not even, this is why some of the people y'all want me to address or like respond to, I've stopped responding to. They're fucked up, not me. They have now cared about everything I say. I don't care about nothing they say. So if they think by making me go viral every 2 days is going to get me to not be myself or not say what I want to say, that's not going to happen. So these days when, even if they take me out of context, which, okay, sure, y'all can run with the whole, yo, he's going to testify on Lil Baby. Like, you guys are, like, first of all, I don't even want to address it at all. I won't. But whether that's the case in terms of what they're running with, I don't have to address that shit no more. I stopped. Now, obviously, if it's something where, like, I'm in the middle where women are fighting, of course, I'm going to be like, yo, I'm breaking up a fight. But some of these other things, every time I go on stream, my voice goes far beyond the couple of thousand people who I'm talking to immediately. And I appreciate that. And I don't sit here like, oh, woe is me. But I'm very proud in the fact that these days, most of the time when I'm either viral or whether people are mad at me is because I'm saying something that other people are scared to say. Now, as it relates to Kanye, Kanye has to learn to discern between when there's an orchestrated effort to silence you and when someone doesn't agree with you. I agree with few things that Kanye says, but I don't agree with everything. I'm not being controlled. I just don't agree with you, brother. Now I could get to the next part. Kanye West, you have a very big mouth. I don't know why you brought my name up. And by the way, I'm going to always have respect because I do want to interview. But I was trying to think, where did you even throw my name in the mix come from? I knew you knew about me because you've sent stuff to your manager specifically to be posted on my page before, which I did. But the next thing I thought in why you would maybe mention my name is maybe some of the things that I have divulged, which I have heard through the industry grapevines. I'm the only person who's going to tell it how I've heard it. And again, if Kanye wants to have a discussion about that, whether it's talking to me directly or you could talk to other people and I'll react to it, it's fine with me. But when I mentioned the thing about you making up a rumor that Pete Davidson had AIDS and you were trying to spread that around, by the way, you were trying to spread that around black media. Let's be clear. You were trying to spread that rumor around black media. And not only was it a rumor, it was a lie. So when we talk about controlled media, if maybe you thought I was controlled, maybe just not by you, because I refused to spread that rumor. I talked about it. I talked about you being a little bit off your rocker because why the hell, if you're mad or jealous a guy was having sex with your wife, would you spread a rumor like that about him? That's hurtful. That's hateful. But you did that. You run your mouth around strangers. Of course, me, who's an outsider, I've never been in a room with you. I've heard so many things you've done by the fact that you don't know how to be quiet. Other people have heard the same things. It's not just me. And they all say, this guy's tripping. Like when you were openly threatening to get Drake killed when you and him were in a beef. You were preaching God on the internet, but every time you were in private rooms, you were saying, Drake don't know who he's fucking with. I could get him killed. Drake heard that rumor. Don't ask me how I know. Everybody heard the rumor because you're saying it and spewing it in front of 20 plus people who ain't your friends. So when these rumors get around, and then when these things get out, it's not the Jewish controlled media that's trying to hold, make you look a certain way. You don't know how to keep your mouth closed. Your incoherent rants are happening at the side of the street. You're unhinged. You're saying things that you later have to apologize, or you later have to be pretty much almost scolded in the sense of people saying, do you understand what you meant or who you hurt? You said some stuff about Jews. Now you backpedaling. You're trying to apologize for who you hurt. Yay. You're richer than me, clearly, right? But that's your line with everybody when you did it with peers too, when they're trying to have some grounding of reality with you. You're going to continue these rants. But the only thing I'm asking you politely to make sure you get right in these incoherent rants is that the same way you work for your brand, and I know in your world, you're the most important nigga who's ever lived because you compare yourself to, Jesus. You compared yourself to everybody great. Walt Disney, Steve Jobs, Sir Isaac Newton, Nikolai Tesla. You've compared yourself to everybody. You're lumping yourself with Elon Musk. You think you're the best thing God ever created. But you should know that that's a fabrication of your ego because everybody feels really proud of the things they've accomplished, the things they've built. And maybe some human empathy is probably lacking there, okay? If that's what drives you and fuels whatever you got going on, I'm not mad at it. I don't even think what you said about me was that dangerous. That's why I wanted to be in a very even-keeled tone while responding to you. But please, my friend, if you think that Akademiks is in any way, shape, or form controlled in opinion or in content, you should reevaluate where you see the basis of the earth and where you see the axis of it going because you're losing touch of reality. I would love to interview you. I would love to sit with you, but I would never sit there and just let you just say anything that could be very hateful and also that could jeopardize not only other people, but even jeopardize the platform that you're saying it on. You want to go say anything about people and their plights and their hurt and their trauma, and you expect not to get canceled, you expect to be applauded just because you couldn't get invited to your daughter or your son's birthday party? Brother, go buy, you just bought Parler. Go in there with it. But if you on YouTube and Twitter and Instagram, this and third, we all got to follow some type of rule. We do. If you wanted the Wild Wild West, my nigga, you just bought your own shit. Do it over there. And not because you're not allowed to say anything you want. That don't mean you don't have freedom of speech. Or that don't mean you're being controlled. Or don't mean you're warring with nobody. You have a difference of opinion with some dudes. This is where your beef came from. You're beefing with some dudes at Adidas that's on the board that ripped off your designs, and because you couldn't use you should have at least 35 lawyers. You can use your legal team and also your assistants, also maybe executives or business partners to resolve it. You declared war on Jews. Are you an idiot? This is why we lose off of you, brother. Okay. Now, again, we're always going to forgive you. You're a phenomenal artist. And this is why you actually hold a very unique space in just the world, because you're the only person who gets to fuck up, say things that are usually at the point of no return. But once you start crying and once you say you're checking into a mental asylum, or once you say you're falling back, people love you again. And we're all going to love you again. And even though you said this, I still love you. So again, I'm down to sit with you, but there's nobody preventing me from sitting down with you. Spotify can't tell me to not sit with you. I can sit with you if I want to. I can sit with you whether I'm publishing on any platform. It's going to be on me, though, to make sure that I am putting out content that's just not destructive to the world. And I've always said that's my thing. I sit with anyone as long as that the content we're creating isn't posing threats or imminent danger to especially a large group of people, especially targeted. All right? Kanye, we love you, but you tripping, brother. Street Seek, you said you can sit down with them, but you can't speak freely. Y'all have this incorrect idea of speaking freely. I don't know nothing about no Jewish people, brother. I know they have a history and a past that's very sacred and full of a lot of trauma that they don't want to be fucked with, and I could respect not going at that. If my thing with Ye, you got a problem with them 5 niggas who was sitting there while you were showing them porn, call them niggas out by name. I love when he call people out by name. But when you start mentioning whole groups of people, brother, you ain't about to, you know what I mean? And see, he had respect enough for Nori because Nori hopped off of that fucking bus immediately. What I'm just saying is that you're not going to be waging war on groups of people. Groups of people, right? Or acting like this is a Jews versus somebody war. That could be taken, and we've seen just in their history how that could be very negative. No, you ain't gonna do it on my platform. Nigga, I'm editing your bitch ass. I don't give a fuck what you talking about. Delete. But probably wouldn't even get to the point where I would have to delete anything, because I would just, again, I would either check you about it, or honestly, I ain't gonna lie to you. You start talking that bullshit and I don't know about it, might let it rock in a moment, but delete that bitch. Fuck that. It's not freedom of speech when this nigga's allowing him to beef with the Jews on your platform, my nigga. That's not freedom of speech, brother. This nigga wants to fight a war. If he want to go fight a war, tell him to fight the war when he's banned. But he don't want to fight the war when he's banned. He's keep asking for other niggas' platform. Kanye got the biggest platform in the world. You just see him drop a YouTube video. This is another thing I hate when y'all try to pander to Ye. Ye just dropped a YouTube video that showed the behind the scenes, which is really why he's mad, right? Of what went on with Adidas. He doesn't need somebody to interview him. He could just hit the camera and start going off at the mouth. He could just spew and spew and spew, and he could rant for hours. Upload it to his own channel. His platform's bigger than mine. He got 10 million YouTube subscribers. I got 2. Upload everything you want to say, and nobody's gonna. But he knows what's gonna happen. They're gonna fucking ban him on YouTube too. Can't play victim all the time, brother. Okay. Somebody said, what about lyrics killing people? Is that freedom of speech? As I said, it's very different if you're mentioning certain people versus like entire religious groups or entire groups that have some type of, especially religious groups, groups that are racial groups like that. Nah, brother. You know what I mean? Like, if he was saying that about a gang, a specific gang, niggas wouldn't care. Niggas would not care. But if he says that about any race of people, people are gonna care. Now, if he says some stuff about the black people, obviously, with basically saying everybody's brainwashed off of this George Floyd thing, and that didn't happen. Yeah, black people just don't got the power to kick this nigga off of social media. If they did, they would. Anyway. And again, I keep saying he does have freedom of speech. He does have freedom of speech. Like, there's no one investigating him. He's not going to jail. But put it like this. If I got on YouTube every day and I started to disrespect Susan, who is the CEO of YouTube, every day. If I got banned, I can't be like, but what about my freedom of speech? Bro. Do it on another platform. That's what they're going to tell you. That's going to be the message. Do it on another platform. Just like, if I'm Zuckerberg, niggas keep disrespecting me, nigga, go diss me on Twitter, bro. It is what it is, okay? Yeah.
And y'all, I need y'all to really respect what I'm doing, the stuff that I'm doing and I'm saying online, and love the fact, look, I got money, I got my songs. I could go off and just go to, Hawaii and live a nice life. That means that God has called me to sacrifice all of that in order to bring the truth. That's what I'm saying. They don't cut my check. You listen to people that's getting their check cut by Jewish media.
If you saying the dudes that ran Adidas were Jewish, weren't you get your check cut by Jewish people as well?
George Soros, come and meet with me directly. I told you, you ain't gonna send none of these people that you usually send. Charlemagne, we know all the names. Nori is a good guy. Like he said, he called me this morning, he said, maybe politics is a little bit too much for me.
That's why I realize Ye doesn't really know shit, and he don't know too much about me. He says the people they send at me. The only time I've ever said anything about Kanye is when I disagree with them. Bro, there's no one sending nobody at you. It's just people don't agree with you.
Everybody back up off of Nori. This is like he was giving a platform, right? Which no one does. There's no free thought anymore. I give you one last bar before I get on this flight. And in order for us to evolve, we have to walk forward. The left leg moving forward is the idea. The right leg moving forward is the actualization. I like the word actualization better than the execution. We need the idea, we need to be realized. We need the idea, we need to be realized. Right now, the thought police have us crawling. We have stopped evolving. We have to fight for free thought, to say how we feel and act upon that. In Jesus' name, amen.
Okay. Anyways. That's cute. All right. Did y'all watch this? And by the way, after